Greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. You are now listening to the voice of trust, Christian, own, nothing, control everything. This is the vault, episode 697, buy, sell, or D.I.E. Definitely wanted to do this episode. We appreciate all our long-time listeners. I know a lot of people have been wondering where the vault has been and what we've been up to. We're actually focused on pivoting and moving into some other ventures. We've had some things preoccupy our time in a great way, building out a business for a lot of the entrepreneurs we work with, building out some new financial relationships in the private sector. So that's been really fun, expanding and working with some private businesses, some families that want to expand. And so that's what we're doing. But definitely want to continue to drop jewels, continuously connect with individuals and families as they ask a bunch of questions about trusteeship, people wanting to get involved in trusteeship. And so this particular episode is to cover what a lot of people are not aware of, which is to buy, sell, or D.I.E. And the reason why we have to do this particular episode is because so many people come to the vault and they're like, oh, I want to start a trust. But a trust doesn't die. So what does a trust do? A trust buys and sells things. But it doesn't die. But most people, businesses, they're going to die. Why are these people businesses going to die? These people's businesses are going to die because they didn't think about selling it from the beginning. So what they did was they bought a job. And a lot of entrepreneurs think that they're true business owners because they were able to get an EIN number and they can do something on their own. And so at the Vault, we definitely aim to share critical information about focusing on actually selling the business. You know, when we get on the line with a lot of the newer financial relationships that we engage in, they want to know, what is the owner's exit strategy? And you get so many first generation operators that'll say, well, I didn't plan on selling the business. Well, we can let you all know, we sit in front of financial relationships. They won't give you any money if you're not looking to sell. They say, oh, Trust Christian, I got to sell my whole business. No, you don't sell your whole business, but you sell part of the business. You give away part of the equity. You give away part of ownership so you can bring on a financial partner. And so that may be a new concept to most people, but we're doing our best to share with individuals and families that if you're going to go into business for yourself, there's a difference between going into business for yourself and staying in business by yourself. Most people, they say, oh yeah, I can't expand, or I'm having an issue with this, issue with that. Then we share with them to bring in a new partner, a joint venture partner, or someone that they can sell part of their equity to. Then it's, oh, I never thought about selling anything. I don't know if I could trust a person if I don't sell it all the way completely. Right. Well, you bought it from the beginning, right? Didn't you invest in the business? That's you purchasing the business income that you're receiving now through investing. Right. Well, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, go look at the stock market. Every company that started out on the stock market is pretty much not there. Y'all go look at companies in the 50s and 60s and 70s. They're not there. Because if a business is not meant to be bought or sold, it will die. And even despite it being bought or sold, people don't understand. The business can still die. Why? Because of bad leadership. So when people come to the vault and they talk about, oh yeah, I want to do generational wealth. I'm focused on generational wealth. How are you focused on generational wealth and you're not planning on selling the business? You're not planning on selling off part of the equity. You're not planning on selling anything. And somebody can say, oh man, Trust Christian, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. Yeah, I'm not here to sell a business here. I'm here to be in business and we're going to do this. Yeah, well, first of all, we know about buying businesses, and most operators, their children don't want their business. Their children aren't even involved in their business. How many of you all have your children involved in the business? How many of you all have your family members that are going to really care for the business other than some stranger? How many of you all actually have your family involved in the business? So for that reason, there's going to be a liquidity event. There's going to be an event where you're going to sell part of the business so you could take some money out of the business, so you can do other things. But so many people, they say, oh man, Trust Christian, I didn't plan on selling the business. I got in business to be in business. I didn't get in business to sell a business. And that's the difference between an A school college student that goes to Wharton or Ivy League and everyone else. See, in the Ivy League schools, A schools, you're taught to buy businesses. You're trained. When everybody thinks, oh, I got a business degree, I got a business school education, there are people buying businesses. There are people that are selling businesses. So why do so many people think they got to start a business from scratch? Because that's all they know. And when you get exposed to an A school education or Ivy League school education, you get exposed to the fact that businesses can be bought and sold. So why would you need to start a business from scratch? Because that's what you know. So most people don't know that the business will just die off. Why won't it keep living? Why would the business keep living if you didn't put leadership in place? If you were the only person that were actually managing the business initially, you are the only one that's operating the business. Really? That's the case. How many entrepreneurs are just operating a business themselves? They don't have any financial backing. They don't have a financial relationship. The reason why you're selling part of the business is so you can get capital coming in. We got trustees, they'll brag about it, but it's not a good brag. Oh yeah, I did everything out of pocket. Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you're in America, the country is built on debt. So you're using your own money at a premium cost when you can go get a debt for assets and it's cheaper. And you didn't put up your own money. So you're preserving your generational wealth. How is that smart to put up your own money when you're supposed to be building generational wealth? But you could use other people's money at a discount, still require assets, still require cash flow, and still require equity. And not use your own money. But so many, they want to do what they see everyone else doing. Then when they hit a vault, oh man, I got to stop buying business. I got to stop, stop just trying to build a business. We're not saying stop trying to build a business. What we are saying is, yes, you are either buying or selling, or the business will die after you're long and gone. Because a business is meant to be bought or sold. You build your business to a certain level, you could turn it into a franchise. You can keep the original model and then sell it to other people. That's an A school education, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, I don't think I have a different college education. Clearly. Somebody's looking to sell their business from the inception of building it. Someone's thinking about building a business to franchise it, which means they sell the intellectual property of the business. So for all the individuals out there that got an Airbnb business, when are you going to move into a different sector of commercial real estate? Because if you're buying residential, that's personal. It's not business. How is it business, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, well, because I'm doing a business transaction. Yeah, but you're doing it through the personal. Commercial loans are just that. Now we see the difference. Commercial versus what? Versus residential. That's the difference between buying, selling, and dying. It's really simple. We did our best to bring this one to you guys because we know there's a bunch of trustees, a bunch of people that are asking us these questions, and they don't know how to sell the business. So you have to prepare to sell the business from day one. It's called What's Your Exit Strategy? Oh man, we've had workshops with other trustees before. They'll say, oh yeah, what made you we got senior trustees that will tell you they wouldn't even start a business that they're not looking to sell. That's the rooms we sit in. Those are the trustees we interact with on a regular basis. They don't even think about starting a business. Won't even finish the thought until they think about an exit strategy. Why do you got to think about exit strategy? Because that is what buying, selling, or dying looks like. Exit strategy. But how many people have an exit strategy? Hard to have an exit strategy, huh? Hard to have an exit strategy when all you did was think about, oh man, I'm going to quit my job and start a business. Because that's what most people do. And we share with trustees to read one of the top Harvard Business Review books on the book list called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. We share this with trustees. Since people want free information, cool, we're sharing with you. The E-Myth. E, the letter E like Eric, and entrepreneur. E-Myth. M-Y-T-H by Michael Gerber, like the baby food. How many people are going to read this book? Because then you have to formalize the business. You have to turn it into a business that you can sell. That's what a business is. Something you could sell. It's an asset, not a liability. A mortgage is a what? It's a liability if you're held accountable. Hear the difference? But when people talk about the current president, oh yeah, he bankrupted a bunch of companies. Clearly, he's still out on the street. Clearly, he's living in penthouses. Why? Because it's not in his name. Buy, sell, or die. He didn't do any other than sell off his interest. He bought at a cheap price, sold at a price that was higher than what he bought, which you make money when you buy, not when you sell. Y'all, this is what people don't want to hear. Trustees, we work with certain level of professionals. They sit on the line with us and they tell us, Trust Christian, we're not going to do this deal. We say, why not? They say, because you make money on the buy, not on the sell. For all of y'all think, oh yeah, I got a house, I'm going to invest in the house. How you going to invest in a house and you're trying to make money on the sell? Did you calculate what the house could possibly be in 5 years or 10 years when you exit the property? Exit the business of Airbnb? Did we calculate that in? They didn't. They didn't. Because they're not thinking about it from a business perspective. It's a personal, institutional perspective. I just need to make some money for a quick flip. I need to make some money for the passive income. They try to call it passive income. How you going to call it passive income and you still active in the business? Whether you going out acquiring new properties, whether it's you rehabbing the properties, whether it's just you flipping the properties, anything you do in the business is considered active. And as long as you're doing active business activities, they're not passive. So let's not conflate these words out here. Oh yeah, I got me a passive income business with Airbnb. You don't have to show up. You don't have to do anything. That's passive. That's the difference. Not just are you active or are you passive, but are you focused on buying or are you focused on selling? Or are you just okay with the business dying? That's what they say happen to most businesses, right? Right. So let's make it to the point where a business can stand on its own 2 feet and somebody else wants to buy it. That's how you know you built a good business. When someone else wants to buy your business. Bottom line. So when trustees want to reach out to Trust Christian and Vault and they want to say, oh yeah, I want to protect my assets for generational wealth. How are you going to build generational wealth and the business that you're building is going to die in 5 or 10 years? That's the bottom line. How are you going to build it? How is that a real business? What is a real business? One that you can sell. Sell. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listen to replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that is Christian at trustchristian.com. We look forward to hearing from you all for consultations or trustee training. Look forward to hearing from you all. We're going to bring some more episodes. Just be upload them as premieres so we can move around and keep the content coming. Appreciate you all for listening live, especially the long-time listeners, everybody to listen this long in episode. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. consultations, trustee training. Peace and joy.